Hey everyone, and welcome back to another episode. I hope everyone's doing well and keeping safe as always. Firstly, I want to thank everyone for the support on the channel. My channel is 1 month old now, and it's been great. So much feedback, so much likes, so many subscribers, and I'm very grateful for that. So appreciate all the support thus far. Please, if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, like it, and let's be on our way here. So on this particular video, I'm going to talk to you about how it's been like owning an electric car for about a month. Now, all my life, we've used gas-powered cars. For those of you who are new to the channel, I sold my Infiniti Q50 and I ended up going with the Tesla Model Y. I originally ordered the standard range plus of the Model 3, canceled that order while it was pending delivery, and I went with the standard range Model Y, which is, as we all know, up on the website for just a few weeks. So that being said, we are extremely happy with the car, but it is a review and I'm going to be transparent and blunt and talk about the amazing things that we love about the car, but also a couple things I just wish were a little different. And I'm sure as Tesla progresses as a company and matures as a company, we're going to see a lot of these things improve. But really, they're so tiny on the scale that I don't even think it really matters. But there's a lot of stuff that we absolutely love about this car and can't get enough of. I can't stop driving this car. That's how much I enjoy the experience. So that being said, let's dive right in. And again, please like, please subscribe. And if you have any questions, please put them down in the comments below. All right, guys, so we're going to start this review by talking about the transition to EV as well as the experience of owning a Tesla for a month, okay? So going into EV, it's definitely different, but in a very good way. As long as you figure out your charging at home, I think that's very important, right? To have access to a fast charger. I'm not talking about the charger that comes with the car, unless you have a NEMA adapter and you're able to charge the car faster. I went with the wall charger, and that makes life a lot easier. We're not waiting for the car to charge, because almost every time we leave the house, I would say probably 9.9 out of 10 times that we've left the house, the car's been at 90% charge, which is my stop limit, and that's the limit I have the car charging at. So that being said, charging is very important when you own an electric car, so figure that part out first. The second part is just the convenience of it. I mean, I'm about to pass a gas station here, our Costco gas station. We never have to go there anymore, right? I mean, yes, I still have the Velar, but we drive that a lot less now. So the trips to the gas station and the savings, we used to pump into 2 gas cars. We used to pump something around $400 a month, Canadian, into the 2 cars. And before the pandemic, it was even more. I was pumping about $400 into my Q50 alone a month because I used to drive back and forth from downtown every day. So those are substantial savings that we're noticing firsthand by having the Tesla. And from an electricity perspective, I haven't been able to really judge because, again, we've only had the car for about 32 days. But I'm assuming and I'm expecting to pay anywhere from around $30 to $40 per month on electricity. So we also got some questions about transitioning into EV after driving gas for so long. And the reality is you transition quite quickly. Amount of time this took for both Nish and I to get used to was probably the same day that we picked up the car from the dealership. And FYI, we never test drove this car. I've driven my buddy's car who has a Model 3 Performance, and I loved it. And I've been in other Teslas before, so I didn't really see a need to test drive the Model Y. I just went ahead and ordered it. But that being said, go give it a test drive and check it out for yourselves. So, drive one of your friends or family's Teslas, and I think that's really going to help you get a grasp of EV. One of the biggest things you're going to notice right away is the regen braking, and that's the first thing you'll notice when you drive the car. It's braking for you. So this whole car is about one pedal driving, which is really an awesome thing if you think about it. So every time you lift your foot off the accelerator, the car is automatically braking for you, right? So that takes a little bit of time to get used to, but nothing at all to be worried about, right? I mean, it's pretty automatic. Now, I also got a question about transitioning between EVs, because I've seen other people talk about this. So I have a gas-powered car as well, and the transition between the two is really not that hard, because what's happening automatically is your foot's going off the accelerator, but it is going towards the brake. In the Tesla, you're just not using the brake. So that kind of automatically happens when I switch over to the Velar, and I don't see any issue of me, expecting the Velar to kind of break on its own. That doesn't happen. And I asked Niche too, and that doesn't happen for her as well. So it's pretty automatic. I think it's just how we're kind of pre-wired in terms of how we drive, and our foot automatically goes to the brake pedal. Now I can see, if Teslas are your only cars and you've been driving it for 6 months or a year or whatever it is, and then driving someone's gas car, that I could probably see getting a little confusing. But for the most part, having both, I don't think it's a big deal at all. But in terms of range, again, this is the standard range, and the reality is, there's plenty of range for us. We use this car as a second car, and we've never had to worry about range so far. Okay, plenty of range. Again, it's charged in my garage. It's charged every day from the time we could drive the car 150 kilometers, or we could drive the car 10 kilometers. But every time we come back home, that car is plugged in. So range has never been an issue. We haven't done any long road trips or anything like that, and we're not really planning on either, at least in the foreseeable future because of COVID. But even if we do, I could probably drive to Toronto, which is about a 5-hour drive, and which is a trip we usually do, and probably make a stop for about 45 minutes along the way, and I should be fine. And same thing on the way back, right? So range is not necessarily an issue. Again, if it's your primary car and you're going to be driving it all over the place, including road trips, then yes, you might want to look at the long range. But standard range is plenty of range for anyone. Cool. So in this section, I'm going to put a few of your questions up on the screen here and then answer them to the best of my ability. So thanks again for sending those questions in. So the first 3 questions here is, how is your paint holding up? What is your car wash routine? And is it fast? So guys, thanks for those questions. So the paint is actually holding up pretty damn well. I've seen other videos and I've seen other reviewers talk about chips and noticeable paint dents and things like that. I haven't really noticed that. Down by the wheels and where the mud flaps would be, etc., there's really no damage. Again, I have a white car, so it shows a little bit less, but I've taken a pretty close look in terms of what my front tires are spitting out, and I haven't really seen any rock damages or anything like that. That being said, guys, I am going to do another video on PPF and ceramic coating. I am going to take it in probably within the next week or so and do one of those treatments. So keep an eye out for that video as well. And again, if you haven't already, subscribe. In terms of the car wash routine, I washed my car on my own for the most part inside my garage. And I have this, really cool tile system that I installed about a month and a half ago. And this enables the water to just drain underneath to the cement floor and then drain through the garage draining system. So that's been really convenient. There's been a few requests on doing a video on the type of floor that I picked for my garage, and I'll be doing a video on that as well. But that being said, it gives me the ability to wash my car inside, not worrying about puddles and things like that. So I wash my car at least about 3 or 4 times inside my own garage and once in a touchless car wash. And I am going to make a video in terms of how I go about washing my car and the routine there, most likely in the summertime while the car is outside in my driveway when there's a lot more space to kind of move around. But great question. And is it fast? Yes, it's absolutely freaking fast. This car has a serious punch. I've showed you some videos in terms of speed. Check that out. But it's a type of speed that'll actually push you back to your seat, okay, upon acceleration. It also has instant torque. So taking a ramp or whatever it is and you want to, run up to 100 kilometers, that is fast. You're going to just step on the accelerator and you're going to see that instant torque just push right in. So guys, I want to talk a little bit about handling. The car handles extremely well. The suspension is pretty tight in this car though. So it does have that kind of sporty, kind of sedan feel to it. It reminds me a lot of my Infiniti Q50 in terms of, tighter steering, tighter shocks, and you just kind of feel that you're in a sports car almost. So in that sense, it's good, but at the same time, I think softer suspension would probably be a better fit for most drivers. For one, blind spot monitoring. I'm so used to having a sensor or a light or something on the side view mirrors or somewhere where it kind of just eliminates and lets you know. Teslas, it's very different and it takes some time to get used to. So basically how it works is on this screen, if you are trying to switch lanes and there's a car in your way, that car and the lane will turn red to let you know that there's a car in your blind spot. Now, yes, that's kind of cool in essence, but the reality is when you get so used to having some kind of light illuminating to let you know that, hey, watch your back, there's somebody right there, it's kind of hard when you get used to that, right? So I wish that in future Tesla, and I know there's like aftermarket stuff that you can do, but I hope that, you know, in the future Tesla has like something that just kind of lets you know visually that there is a blind spot. In terms of frunk, we love the frunk, we use it quite a bit, but I just wish it was automatic open, automatic close. In this case, it becomes a little inconvenient when you're trying to put like bags inside the car, and then you have to put all your bags down on the floor and basically, you know, lift open the trunk and then close it again. Like, it just becomes inconvenient. Having some sort of, you know, open close, I think will be good. So I want to talk about a couple things that I think is very important for any buyer of the Model Y. And I think these are going to be important factors that you're going to look at before buying it. The first thing is space, right? Now, if you have a family or if you like outdoor activities or whatever it may be, you want to make sure that there's ample space here. Now, comparing this to a Model 3, and I am going to have comparisons between the Model Y and the Model 3 coming up when the weather gets a little bit nicer. But the Model 3, I've driven that quite a few times, and you know, there's a noticeable difference between the Model Y and the Model 3 inside the cabin. I mean, if you look at the headspace, I'm about 5'10". There's plenty of headspace here. I'm very comfortable sitting in these seats. There's plenty of leg space, regardless of which seat you're in, the back seats, the passenger seat, etc. And if you are the type that likes outdoor activities or want to lug around your mountain bikes and go to trails or whatnot, there's plenty of space when you fold down the seats, okay? Even when these seats are up, there's quite a lot of space in the trunk. There's storage in the trunk. There's always a frunk as well. So there's a lot of space for your items, your storage, so on and so forth. Some people have asked me about the screen and what I think about, you know, having the display in the middle with the speed and things like that. For the most part, I really enjoy it. At first, it seems a little overwhelming, and you're so used to, with the traditional car, you're used to having, you know, your instrument cluster right in front of your face. You're used to having all these little knobs and bells and whistles. Like on the Velar, I have about 3 different screens. But in a sense, everything's just kind of centralized in this one display, and that makes life a lot easier. When you get used to seeing how it's categorized, when you get used to seeing how things are set up, it really makes sense to have everything on that one screen. So do I miss the instruments cluster right in front of my face? Not really, and I got used to this in a few days. So, you know, don't be overwhelmed by that. It's actually really nice to have the screen as a central piece of equipment that's really driving every part of your car. All right, guys, so I guess we'll wrap this up here. So in a nutshell, this car has been so enjoyable. I love it. It's definitely my favorite car that I've owned to date. I think the Model Y hands down wins in terms of the best driving experience that I've had to date. So if you're thinking about the Model Y, I don't think you need to stress over it anymore. I feel like, you know, definitely test drive it and see if it's the right fit. And then you will obviously have to make the decision between the standard range, again, that should be available for limited time, a long range, and the performance, whichever one works for you and your unique driving requirements and needs, right? It's going to change from person to person, situation to situation, and family to family. But overall, the Model Y has been a phenomenal addition to our family. We absolutely enjoy it in every possible way, and I can't wait to make more videos. So again, thanks for joining, thanks for your support thus far, and looking forward to sharing a lot more content with you. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.